The definition of a law are a set of rules that are enforceable by social or governmental institution to regulate behavior. With a precise definition being a matter of long-standing debate, it has often been described as a science as well as the art of justice. Today we're going to be going over some of the strangest laws you can find all around the world, different countries, different cities, all that. But before we get into that, make sure you guys like, subscribe, and if there's any super weird laws that you think I missed that should have been on this list, make sure you let me know down below. I do have a part 2 planned for this already, but if there's any that I've missed on that, I'll make sure I add them. So first up is taking pictures of the Eiffel Tower at night.
I'm breaking the law here.
Now, pictures showcasing the Eiffel Tower under the night stars are actually illegal. It all comes down to good old-fashioned copyright law, which being on YouTube we all hate, which states that monuments in Europe are protected for the lifespan of the work's legal creator plus 70 years. So while the Eiffel Tower itself, the creator of which died in 1923, is fair game, the light show that they actually created was not created until 1985, and it is still protected work. And that kind of honestly sucks. Like, I don't know, that like ruins going to the tourist attraction of Paris at the end of the day. Like, first off, no offense, I've heard it sucks over there, so not being able to take a picture of it at night is like kind of crazy, bro. What I would hate that. Anyways, we're moving on to the next one. Up next is it is illegal to disrupt a wedding in Australia. Or technically any other religious ceremony in southern Australia. The Summary Offences Act was enacted in 1953 and is basically the patient zero for these dumb South Australian laws, because apparently there's a lot. Under Section 7A of the Act, it is illegal to disrupt a religious ceremony, including weddings or funerals. The section creates an offense for disrupting a ceremony regardless of the person's intent, so it doesn't matter what you were trying to do, you're still getting charged. Section 7A creates an offense for disrupting a religious ceremony, while Section 7 creates an offense for disrupting a ceremony in a way that is designed to be offensive. So either way, basically, as long as you disrupt this thing, you are getting charged with something. You are breaking the law at some point, you know what I mean? Even if they don't actually charge you, it doesn't matter if you were trying to do it in a good manner way or an ill manner way. Basically, either way, you're disrupting it, you are getting blamed for this, and you are getting in trouble for it. Anyways, that's all I got for that one. We're moving on to the next one. It is actually illegal to chew gum in Singapore. So technically the sale of chewing gum in Singapore has been illegal since 1992, but since 2004 an exemption has existed for therapeutic, dental, and nicotine chewing gum, which can be bought from a doctor or a registered pharmacist. It is not technically illegal to chew gum in Singapore, but it is against the law to import it or to sell it. Basically, unless you were going to the doctor or something like that, selling it, buying it, anything like that was illegal, but having it and chewing it isn't. So kind of a weird little loophole, but that's all that one is. We're moving on to the next one. Next is, it is actually illegal to wear high heels in Acropolis, Greece. So in Greece, it's actually illegal to wear high heels when you're touring ancient monuments like the Parthenon and the Acropolis in Athens, and basically a ton of other ancient historic sites. The law was actually created because of concerns that the heels would end up scratching and damaging like the stones that most of these monuments are made out of, and to be honest, that makes a bunch of sense, but I don't know why you would want to wear that anyways. I feel like that's asking to fall on your ass, so whatever. But we're moving on to the next one. Next is, it is illegal to tell fortunes in Maryland, United States of America. So technically fortune telling is illegal in Baltimore, the city in Maryland, and violators can be fined $500 or imprisoned for up to a year.
Apparently, in 2016 they made it legal again, but you have to have a license.
Now, there wasn't much information other than that, but I have a couple more honorable mentions from the state of Maryland in the United States. So first is, it is illegal to curse while driving or walking down the sidewalk in Rockville. Apparently that is just another city in Maryland. And oral sex is technically illegal under Maryland law. This also applies to animals. So I don't know what's good with Maryland, but it sounds weird as hell down there, man. So I don't know. If you're from Maryland, let me know. Don't let me know if you're doing it with animals. I don't want to know that at all. Actually, you should probably get some help, but we're moving on to the next one. Next is, it is actually illegal to swear in the UAE or the United Arab Emirates. I think I said that right. Swearing and making rude gestures, including online, are considered obscene acts, and offenders can be jailed or deported. Take particular care when dealing with the police and other officials, as public displays of affection are also frowned upon, and there have been several arrests for actually just people kissing in public in UAE. So basically, personally, I just wouldn't mess around out there. They take things super serious, and I don't know, I wouldn't play with them. Do it at your own risk at that point. But we're moving on to the next one, because that's kind of self-explanatory. So it might be the weirdest one yet, but it is illegal to die in Brazil. So the mayor of Beretiba at Marim filed a public bill in 2005 to make it illegal for the people living in the town to die. Although no specific punishments have been presented, the mayor intends to target relatives of people who die with fines or even jail if necessary to get more space for tombstones. This guy is out of his mind, bro. Like, unreal. The main reason for this attempt to pass such a law is with such severe punishments, if broken, is that the town's 28,000 inhabitants apparently do not look after their health properly, making them more vulnerable to death, which would mean having to bury more corpses in the already full cemetery. I don't know. Even then, you can't be asking these people like that. Like, that's crazy. If you die, we're gonna tax your family. In fact, we might even lock your family up for you dying. If I ever heard that, bro, I don't know. I don't even know, bro. I'm stressing out just even thinking about that. That's crazy. Since the cemetery was inaugurated in 1910, over 50,000 people have been buried in 3,500 crypts and tombs. So they're basically stacking people up on top of each other at this point. In November 2005, the cemetery was declared to be full, and 20 recently deceased residents were forced to share a crypt, and several others were buried underneath the walkways. The mayor, to support his uncommon proposal for a law, stated that 89% of the town is occupied by rivers, of which most are underground and serve as vital water sources for nearly 2 million people living in Sao Paulo, and that the remaining area is protected because it consists of tropical jungles. So, public land 5 times the size of the cemetery was set aside to provide space for a new one, which environmental experts claim will not affect water tables or surrounding tropical forests. So basically, he's trying to do this, but he also is taxing people. That's my problem. The Environmental Council decided to analyze such a solution carefully, while the state government had agreed to help build a new vertical cemetery. So instead of going wide, they were going up. But as of 2005, nothing has been done, and the law has not yet been passed. Thank God, bro. That is crazy. Leaving the situation is suspense until they basically figure this out. And oh my God, I hope they never pass that. I hope. In fact, that just stressed me out so much. We just gotta move on to the next one, man. Let me know what you guys think about that. So up next is, it is illegal to run out of gas on the German Autobahn. So first off, this is the road in Germany. It's like a stretch of highway that has no technical speed limit. Maybe like you can't be going less than this speed, but I don't think there's a cap on the speed that you can go. At least that's what I've heard from it. Running out of fuel on the Autobahn is technically illegal, as it is seen as preventable, and leads to basically stopping on the Autobahn, which is prohibited. And that's basically it. They figure, dude, you know you're getting on this road, why are you not getting gas? Like, this is easily stoppable. Like, you don't have to, like, this is not something that should have happened, you know what I mean? Running out of gas, not your car breaking down. If your car breaks down, that is a different story. But if you run out of gas, then that's basically your fault, you know what I mean? So anyways, that's it. We're about to move on to the next one. It is illegal to wear camouflage in the Caribbean. So in countries such as Antigua, Dominica, Grenada, Jamaica, St. Lucia, Trinidad and Tobago, and St. Vincent and the Grenadines, it is against the law for civilians to wear camouflage clothing or accessorize with anything that has any type of camouflage print. Camouflage is technically considered to be strictly for the military or law enforcement uniforms, so the print cannot be worn in public by anyone who is not in active military or active law enforcement status. Grenada and St. Vincent and the Grenadines, they have a zero tolerance for anyone, including visitors as well as locals, who break the law for wearing camouflage in public. And basically, you will catch jail time, if not very heavy fines. They've even locked up just like tourists going there if they wear camouflage. Like, they do not play about this. So please, if you ever plan to take a trip to the Caribbean, you know what I mean? Like, a lot of people like to go out there for vacations, at least in America. I know that's true. Don't be an idiot. Don't wear camouflage. Like, it's pretty simple. Just don't pack any camouflage in your bag. I mean, let's be real. It's 2023. I mean, you probably don't need it anyways, but Anyways, moving on to the next one. Up next is another weird one. It is illegal to die in the House of Parliaments. So there's a myth that anyone who dies in a royal palace is eligible for a state funeral, and this is believed to be the basis for speculation about the illegality of dying inside the House of Parliaments. However, the Law Commission's Statute Law of Repeals team, which has been responsible for rescinding 2,000 outdated laws since 1965, asserts that it is not illegal to die inside the House of Parliaments at all, that was basically just a myth. The team also claims that it has been unable to trace any law that suggests that dying in a royal palace is grounds for a state funeral, as have the House of Commons authorities on such matters. Basically, these were just made up myths that probably like wives' tales or something like that just carried on throughout generations, and people just believed, it just stuck, and it was never an actual law, but people just believed it so much that it just, word spreads. So, but anyways, moving on to the next one. Up next is no water guns on New Year's in Cambodia. The Siem Reap Provincial Authority has banned the sale and use of water guns in the province for Khmer New Year's. The sale of such water guns is banned during the Khmer New Year's as it causes traffic incidents and causes public disorders during that time. And basically, they just banned it. The leader of that province banned it for New Year's specifically because there's so many tourists and so many extra people coming around that basically he just doesn't want a ton of people just getting shot with water guns, basically causing public disturbances, causes traffic accidents, and then just a ton of different problems that he saw coming with it. Although at the same time, it's like, dude, it's New Year's, bro. Like, come on. I don't know. Anyways, moving on to the next one. I think the next one's kind of funny, but we're getting to it. So, Winnie the Pooh t-shirts are actually banned in Poland. Winnie the Pooh has been banned from a Polish playground apparently due to his dubious sexuality and his inappropriate dress.
I don't know, man. Seems kinda gay to me.
And basically, this all came to a head, I guess, at a local council meeting to decide which famous character would become the face of this play area in a small town of Tizunin. And basically, one of the people at this meeting said that they should just use their own bear instead of actually using Winnie the Pooh, because he's always hanging out with Christopher Robin and he doesn't wear pants. And that was their main argument. This entire thing was basically that it's inappropriate. He doesn't wear pants. What kind of message is this going to send to our kids? And apparently Poland has its own bear that wears pants, I guess. Like, I didn't really understand it, but this lady was really pushing for it to not have him around. So much that apparently you can't even wear Winnie the Pooh t-shirts if you go to this park nowadays. So that's where this whole thing stems from. But we're moving on to the next one because I just added this as like, this was kind of unreal. Like, let's be honest, it's crazy. Come on. All right, so I'm not sure if any of you guys have ever heard of this stereotype, but growing up, I used to hear this all the time, that French men specifically, wear speedos when they go to the beach. I never really thought this was true until I started making this video, and apparently it's an actual law. All right, so let's get into this. Basically, men must wear speedos on French beaches. And thanks to a 1903 law, all men and boys of all ages must wear a speedo to swim in public pools and beaches. The reason for this is hygiene. Small, tight trunks can only be used for swimming. Bermudas or bigger swimming shorts, apparently Bermudas is a popular brand, I'm not that sure, but basically regular swimming shorts can be worn elsewhere all day, and so could bring in sand, dust, or other matter, disturbing the water quality. By banning them outright, we're not forced to stand there measuring what can be defined as a swimming shorts. Some men feel very ill at ease wearing small trunks, but others don't mind. And that is words of Emmanuel de Morris. I didn't really think this was true, bro. This blew my mind, to be real. Like, I have to say it, but we're moving on to the next one. And yeah, I gotta move on from this. This is still crazy to me. All right, and I do have just a few honorable mentions. They're all actually from the state of Alabama in the United States, if you're not aware, obviously. But anyways, some of these are just kind of funny, so figured I'd throw them in here. First is, it is illegal to basically throw plastic confetti in Mobile, Alabama, which makes sense to me. I mean, it's kind of illegal to litter anyways. It is illegal to drive the wrong way on a one-way street if you have a lantern attached to the front of your car. That is just super weird. I don't know, that's like too specific. That must have actually happened at some point, you know what I mean? Another one is one of the most egregious crimes is pretending to be a priest. And according to fine law, this includes wearing items that could be mistaken for religious clothing at all. This law extends not only to priests but also to nuns and rabbis. And basically, if you were caught trying to impersonate one of these people, you can get a fine of $500 and a prison sentence of up to 1 year. So they're not really playing about their religious stuff. I'm assuming it's like a super religious state. I've never been to Alabama. I just hear all the rumors just like you guys. You know, they're real big on family. Well, we'll just put it like that, all right? But anyways, apparently it's also illegal to fight bears. At least if you're human, there are actually no laws prohibiting bears from fighting each other. And yeah, that's about all the weird laws I had for Alabama. That was just like a quick honorable mention because there was just so many weird ones coming from there. But let me know if you guys like this video. Like I said, let me know if there's any other super weird laws. I have another one of super specific laws that definitely, like, something definitely happened for this law to be made, basically, you know what I mean? So that'll come out in a few days or something like that. But anyways, make sure you like, subscribe, all the YouTube stuff, comment if I forgot any, and yeah, Happy New Year. We'll get back to it, but this is stay safe, stay dangerous.